Welcome to the KK Petsy TV.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel.
We do doll videos, Roblox, baking, and vlogs.
We also do short films such as The Story of Crazy Face, and we also do Talking Hot Show.
A special thank you to Blue Blood Sports TV. Thank you so much for your support. We will continue to work hard and bring you more content. Bye!
Show support. Subscribe to KK Penson TV. If you got children, if you got nieces, if you got nephews, if you got little cousins, if you have friends that have kids, make sure they subscribe to KK Penson TV. Please do that. Show love and show support.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Terence Bud Crawford, undefeated, former 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, and currently WBO welterweight world champion, seems to be in serious negotiations to face 8-division world champion, legendary Filipino superstar boxer, and currently the WBA welterweight world champion, Manny Pacquiao. This will throw a monkey wrench in the plans of undefeated, unified WBC IBF welterweight superstar boxer Errol Spence Jr. as he laid out his 3-fight plan, and Manny Pacquiao is his second fight. He plans to fight Manny Pacquiao in his second fight after fighting Danny Swift Garcia, former 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion, and former WBC welterweight world champion Danny Swift Garcia. After that, he planned to fight Manny Pacquiao. But it seems like Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao are moonlighting to face off against one another. So that means in his second fight, he will have to replace him with somebody else or face the winner of this fight, right? Because, like I stated, this may actually work out in the favor of Errol Spence. If Terence Crawford was to somehow lose to Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao was now the WBO and the WBA welterweight world champion, and Errol Spence face off against Manny Pacquiao, that would do bigger pay-per-view numbers and bigger revenue share for Errol Spence if he faced off against Manny Pacquiao, because the storyline would be then Manny Pacquiao opposed to, Terence Crawford or even Errol Spence. The storyline would be Manny Pacquiao, right? Because Manny Pacquiao at the tender age of over 40, and Manny Pacquiao being an 8-division world champion, now Manny Pacquiao has the opportunity to become undisputed at welterweight. Manny Pacquiao is doing stuff in the sport of boxing that's never been done. Everything, the storyline would be built, as the legacy of Manny Pacquiao gets thicker, right? So that alone would be a selling point for the fight for Errol Spence as far as pay-per-view goes. And Errol Spence has proven to be a bigger pay-per-view star than Terence Crawford. Errol Spence in his fight with Mikey Garcia, former 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. Errol Spence against Sean Porter did 300,000 pay-per-view buys, 2-time welterweight world champion. Terence Crawford fight with Victor Postol and Terence Crawford fight with Amir Khan did a combined 325,000 pay-per-view buys, and that's being generous. So one fight alone, Errol Spence did bigger pay-per-view numbers than 2 of Terence Crawford's pay-per-view fights. So the numbers, the proof is in the numbers, and the numbers say that Errol Spence is a bigger pay-per-view star. So now we know Manny Pacquiao is obviously a bigger pay-per-view star than both of these guys. He's a bigger draw than both of these guys, right? And so now you put Errol Spence's pay-per-view star status and Manny Pacquiao's star status, and you combine them, that equals more revenue for Errol Spence, and it's a bigger legacy fight for Errol Spence, right? But if he fights Terence Crawford, the hardcore boxing fans want to see Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence because that's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing competitive-wise. But if Manny Pacquiao somehow shocks the world and I don't see Manny Pacquiao beating Terence Crawford, but let's just say he does, and he somehow shocks the world and beats Terence Crawford. He beat Adrian Broner, beat Keith Thurman, who was undefeated and unified welterweight champion, then beats Terence Crawford, right? And he already has the legacy he has behind him going into a fight with Errol Spence. It makes it that much bigger. But if Terence Crawford was to beat Manny Pacquiao, right, it's still a huge fight because it's still for undisputed and it's still the biggest fight within the sport, right? It's just that not too many people are going to favor Manny Pacquiao to beat Terence Crawford. It's interesting. I'm interested to see how the odds lay out, open up when Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao fights gets made. Should it get made over the hump, right? It's interesting to see if Manny Pacquiao would be the favorite because of his name, or is Terence Crawford going to be the favorite because of his youth and accomplishments? And he's still young, right? And he's widely considered the pound-for-pound best fighter in the sport of boxing. So I want to see. It's interesting to see how the odds open up. But like I said, this may work in the favor of Errol Spence. Errol Spence in this situation, in my opinion, is in a win-win situation because if Terence Crawford wins, he's going to get the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, and then it's going to be for undisputed. If Manny Pacquiao wins, he's going to get, which then would be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing because, like I said, the storyline of Manny Pacquiao is going to overshadow everything, right? If he beats Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao is going to open up as the favorite to beat Errol Spence because nobody's going to want to doubt him, right? And then on top of it, the storyline with his legacy and his accomplishments will overshadow Errol Spence. So Errol Spence is going to be in a win-win situation. He gets the opportunity to slay the dragon and build his legacy, right? So, but let's say the fight never comes to fruition with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. He's still in a win-win situation. Let's say Manny Pacquiao goes the route of fighting Mikey Garcia, as a lot of reports and a lot of sources say that that's highly likely that Manny Pacquiao faces Mikey Garcia. So let's say that is the case, right? Then he still lands the Manny Pacquiao fight because I'm favoring, and I'm hard pressed to see Mikey Garcia beating Manny Pacquiao. So he still gets the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? And then he still gets the Terence Crawford fight because I believe Terence Crawford would then face off against Kell Brook, and I believe he'll beat Kell Brook. Now the tricky sticking point would be if he fights Sean Porter, that's a 50-50 fight, and he may not win that fight, Terence Crawford. I favor him to win the fight, but there's a chance he may not win that fight, right? Because that'll be a very, very close fight, and he's gonna have to make some really big adjustments to be able to offset of what Sean Porter does great. So, but more than likely, Terence Crawford will come out victorious in those two fights, Sean Porter and Kell Brook, and then he still lands the big fight after if he defeats Manny Pacquiao. Regardless of how you look at it, he will still fight Terence Crawford for undisputed. So Errol Spence is in a win-win situation no matter how this plays out, as long as he gets past Danny Garcia. So I can't wait to see how this all plays out and unfolds. But that's all I got for y'all. Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao are in serious negotiations and trying to steal away and run away with the Pacquiao fight and take it off the table for Errol Spence in his second fight, as he's so laid out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Jasmine. Thank you for watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, soy Jasmine. Gracias por ver Sangre Azul Deportes TV. Gracias.